Okay, after millions being made from all the mounts recently and a pretty disastrous launch to 11.0.5, finally we have some pretty exciting news to break down today. My name's Sky for the Comeback Kids. Let's jump right into it. As we all know, on the official YouTube page, we were shown a sneak peek of what's to come in 11.0.7, which is the Siren Isle. To quickly break all of this down, it's an island used by Cultirans to mine azurite, where suddenly, out of nowhere, the entire population on the island vanished. There are going to be Vrykul, Nagas, pirates on the island, where every so often there will be a storm and you can use special weapons, tools, vehicles to fight off enemies in this said storm. The island also has 3 major caves sealed up, which you can then donate resources to excavation efforts to open up these caves briefly to fight what seems like bosses inside of them. There's also a new special ring that will be a part of this island event, which we will be diving into in a minute, and there will also be a bunch of mounts, collectibles, and other cosmetic things of that nature to acquire on the island. Something that was very shocking is that Blizzard was ready to put it up on the PTR as early as October 31st, which was yesterday, which opened up the data mining floodgates, and we have a ton of new stuff to talk about and a lot of things going on right now. So let's get into it. First and foremost, as of right now, there is going to be no flying during this event. Now, it's not entirely clear whether this is a permanent restriction or something that players are intended to, overcome by maybe killing a boss or getting an achievement or going through the story or something. But as of right now, you cannot fly. It is restricted. It's also worth noting that the island is pretty damn small, and they're actually roughly the size island expeditions, which we're going to be talking about that a little bit later as well. So I would personally expect there to be no flying on this island right now. Speaking of old content, of course, we are acquiring brand new rings through this form of content as well, which is called the Circe's Circlet. Data miners have actually found every single socket that can go inside of these rings, and we're going to display some of these for you right now because they're starting to look a little bit familiar here. You have some gems that just flat out have a chance to deal some damage, some that grant you secondary stats, some that can perform almost like a chain heal effect, which is really cool, some that provide shielding, and some that can cleave nearby enemies, which seem great for Mythic Plus. The problem is the whole idea of what this is kind of looking familiar to just being the Forbidden Reach 2.0. Do you have an island? Yes. Do you have a form of jewelry that you can upgrade with some weird gems and effects? Yes. To prove this, we even have 2 of these gems from both events side by side, and they're pretty much exactly the same. One of them has a chance to heal multiple allies, but it's all relatively the same thing. Now, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing, but I'm going to be honest, it isn't the most creative thing in the world either. I don't think it's a bad thing if you sort of reuse content if you've never used before, but if people haven't enjoyed this sort of thing and they haven't liked it in the past, maybe it's not the best idea to be going through that again. No one really likes this in the first place, so not only was all this incredibly, undertuned back then and didn't feel worthwhile at all, it just wasn't very fun to do in the first place. Not only that, it was actually leaked by a user that the Siren map is technically just a reused piece of content back from patch 8.2 on the PTR called the Abandoned Mines. So pretty much the whole island was kind of already done and made, and I guess they just added to it to make it feel a bit more like the War Within. The thing is I guess it makes sense because all the enemies that are occupying the island, you got Cultirans, you got Naga, you got Vrykul, the whole Azurite situation. It's all pretty damn big parts of Battle for Azeroth, and these are all things that you see quite often in that expansion. So could it have potentially been a situation where they're just quickly trying to get something out, trying to get to the next major patch because they're already working on it? So they kind of gave us rehashed content from like 6 years ago in BFA. Once again, I'm not against reusing content that you never got able to use or show or display to the public, but using content from 6 years ago seems like a bit much and it's a bit misplaced. It doesn't really make sense to have that in an environment like the War Within, where we're dealing with Xalatath and all of this stuff going on, and suddenly we're going to an island to fight pirates and Vrykul. I don't know, it's a little misplaced in my opinion. You all gotta let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty damn conflicted about what I think. Either way, it's a 0.7 patch, so it's not like they're supposed to spend decades and a bunch of resources and making crazy content for a 0.7 patch. I get it. It's strictly there to just be filler content until 11.1 in just a few months from now. Continuing with some of the leaks and data mining though, we actually got some splash screen art that indicates which character we may have involved story for this patch. And actually, it ends up being the Heronir race leader Orwena. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. We are going to be getting some more story from the most cool race in the War Within, in my opinion, the Heron. So this definitely makes us believe that she's going to be playing a pretty damn big part in at least the, campaign prologue for 11.1, which we might potentially be getting this race, hopefully, as an allied race in the nearby future, which will have me freaking out if we do. When we last saw her, she violated her oath for forbidding interactions with the outsiders, which was us. And, with Blizzard recently stating that we need to continue the story of the War Within and uncover a familiar face in the darkness, she very well could be that potential familiar face in the darkness leading into the prologue for the next major patch. The Heron, badass race. I'm super excited to get some more information, some more lore on them, dive into their culture and stuff. I'm hoping we can get them as allied races pretty soon. I will instantly race swap to them immediately. Anyways, moving on. Additionally, on the PTR, it looks like Blizzard is making some changes to professions. Right off the bat, Blizzard's development notes hint that professions are maybe getting a new specialization respec option that would allow players to refund and respend their knowledge points however they would see fit. Personally, I would love this sort of thing because there are a lot of different routes I messed up on and I would love to fix it and, sort of respec how I would want my character. It is important to note that there isn't any indication of this 100% happening on the PTR realms right now, but of course, we all know this has been highly requested feature since the profession revamp back in Dragonflight, so I know a lot of players would love the option to have this again. Not only that, as you can see on the content update notes, Blizzard is actually going to be pretty much nerfing the average number of extra items crafted by multicraft by 30% and increasing the average number of reagents returned on resourcefulness by 50%. So the whole idea is that they are going to be pretty much nerfing multicraft. They think it's broken. They think it's miles ahead of resourcefulness, and they're going to be buffing up resourcefulness. So they should be equally more in line now. Personally, I don't see the problem with just like keeping multicraft where it was and then buffing resourcefulness like to sort of come in line with it. But I guess we all know Blizzard at this point. They're very heavy-handed about how they do balance lately. Additionally, Blizzard has announced that full pre-made cross-faction groups can now queue for dungeons together in patch 11.0.7, so a lot of people have been asking cross-faction queuing for LFG for a long time. It's been such a pain in the ass to try to get that thing going with only, working with people from your faction. It's really, really annoying, and Blizzard finally made the announcement that with dungeons and raids, cross-faction groups can now queue up for them. The only thing is that the dungeons will now require a fully pre-made group, and party members who will leave will not be replaced. I guess that kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, I'll take my cross-faction queuing from now on. I guess that's a major W, just some little hoops that we have to, I guess, jump through. Additionally, we do know that it was announced that Plunderstorm is going to be returning of early next year, and there are going to be a lot more cosmetics this time around. A completely brand new recolored pirate outfit, a ton of different pirate-themed cosmetics, eye patches, guns, axe, knives, swords, shovels, tons of brand new mounts and pets. I mean, there is going to be a lot of rewards coming to Plunderstorm this time around that you're going to want to be able to obtain through, acquiring all these doubloons by completing matches and stuff and spending them how you see fit. I mean, Jesus, look in the entire list here. It just seems like it's never ending. It feels like there's like 100 of them. It is ridiculous. I always love casually just queuing up Plunderstorm, chilling out some guildies in Discord, whatever. I'm really happy it's coming back. I'm really hoping this time around it can stay permanently, but we will have to see. And lastly, for some cosmetic and data mines, we have the trading post rewards for early 2025 that got leaked that highlight some important things like the Lunar Festival. For this trading post, we have some pretty distinctive mechanical themes as well across a lot of these transmog items, as well as, of course, like we just mentioned, Lunar Festival, as well as Love is in the Air, which we all know is for Valentine's Day. There's also simple transmog pieces like new short war skirts, as well as hoods and things of that nature. So we're quickly going to display all this for you on screen. I hope you enjoy. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up today's video on a lot of the upcoming content that we're expected to see over the next few months. Don't forget, we got our second channel up and running, and we're super close already to hitting 1,000 subscribers. If you guys can, support the channel, go check out the video. After we do that, we can get monetized over there. A lot of the content is really cool. It's a lot of wide variety of gaming, news, and documentary-based videos going on in the industry right now. So go check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. Happy Friday. Until the very end, my name is Scott from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.